Yes. Now
So
you
when
can
you're
start.
okay, fine. So if you're comfortable, sit in a comfortable cross-legged pose, Tadasana. Feel your hip bones into the floor. Gently come inside your body. Just breathe gently. Feel your spine extending up to the top of your head. And throughout the class, if you imagine an invisible thread just holding you from the top of your head, down your spine into your seat bones. Now raise your shoulders and gently let them settle. Put your hands on your knees and gently close your eyes and just observe your breath for a few seconds. Feel it come into your body. Feel it gently leave. Now bring your hands together in prayer position. And we'll chant 3 Oms and 3 Shantis. Deeply inhale. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Take an inhale. Exhale, bow your head to your hands. Gently open your eyes and look up. Namaste. Welcome. Today's class, I'm planning to incorporate many of the exercises we've been doing over the last few weeks, which will help build up strength and flexibility, and also some of the traditional standing poses. I'm practicing exercises that I think will help towards series like the Ashtanga sun salutations, which normally go very fast, and sometimes you can lose the technique and just rush through them to get them done. Remember to listen to your body at all times, and if anything hurts, then either pull back or compromise or rest until you want to rejoin again. And at all times, remember to keep breathing, and I have to remember that myself. So let's hope we all enjoy it. Right, so we're sitting in Sukhasana, our spine is extended, and we're breathing. I want you to lift your arms to the side and look up to your hands as you breathe in, and gently let them float down as you exhale. Inhale and raise your arms, trying to keep your arms straight and your shoulders down. Exhale gently to the ground. One more time. Inhale, breathe in, and exhale. Now, don't mirror me because I'm going to say right hand and meet right hand, so just use the same hands. Inhale, lift your right hand, following it up to the sky, allowing your left hand to drop, and however far it goes, and look up to that upper hand. Twist your body and feel the right side of your rib cage is opening out. Breathe in again, come back to the side. Breathe in, lift the left hand, allow the right hand to drop, follow the hand over, feel the left ribs opening out, and come back to center. We'll repeat that one more time. Lift the right hand, extend it over, feel that rib cage opening out. Try to keep this arm straight. Breathe in again, up to center. Left hand up and over, stretch that arm. Up again and down. Now, sitting upright, put your right hand on your left knee, your left hand for support behind your back. Feel your spine extended, and we're going to twist to the left, but we want to move up before we turn. So we'll slowly turn from the upper back. Feel the seat bones grounding into the floor so that you're twisting out your spine, but there's no compression of the vertebrae. Breathe a couple of times, and on every out breath, see if you can twist just that little bit more. Then come back to centre. We'll do that on the other side. Left hand on right knee, right hand supporting you from behind. Lift up with your spine and gently twist to the right. Allow your head to follow the line of your shoulders. And again, breathe in and out. And you can use this hand as a slight lever to push you round. But don't allow your back to bend over. Try and keep as upright as possible. And breathe. And come back. Gently just roll the shoulders a few times. Place your arms out in front of you. Squeeze your fingers closed and open them just a few times, just to wake them up. Then have them flat and circle your wrists. Try to do it with your arms straight so that you're not circling your elbows, so it's just isolated into the wrists. And then go up, down, up, down, up, down. And then give them a shake. Arms out in front of you, and then bring your fingers to your shoulders, sitting upright again. And then we're going to breathe in and circle those shoulders 10 times outwards. I always find breathing helps with everything. I think I've lost track. Is that 5? 6. That's great. 7. 8. 9. 10. And then the other way, which is always harder for some reason. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right. Now, I'll just turn my mat slightly. If you come to the long end of your mat, so you can see me, and sit upright into Tadasana, seated, just wobble your hip bones so that you can feel the sitting bones into the ground. Your legs are straight, your back is straight, your feet are flexed. Now lift this leg, the right leg, foot flexed. Remember to keep the left leg alive and straighten. Bend it, point the toe. Straighten. Bend and point the toe. Straighten. Bend and point the toe. Straighten. Bend and point the toe. Feel the stomach muscles engaged as you're doing this, because it'll help keep your back straight. One more time. Point. Lift that leg and flex it, and see if you can just hold for 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then lower that leg, give them a little shake, a little rub if they need it, and we'll do the left side. Pulling your spine up, right leg engaged, lift the left leg and point as it lowers. Flex. Point as it lowers. Flex, point, and lower. So you can feel the thighs waking up there. One more time. And then Raise the left leg. Feel those glutes going. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And gently lower the leg. Now, I'm going this way so you can see me. If you lift the right leg and place it across the thigh, wherever's comfortable, because I find that sometimes it can be, there's a hurty place it can be, and I prefer to have my leg high up, but you might want it a bit lower. And then just lift and lower that knee. Just to get a bit of mobility in here. Some people find it's really uncomfortable. Other people will go, it's easy. It all depends on you. Then pick up this leg, keeping the leg flexed in front. Try to sit up and try to keep this leg parallel. And there again, it doesn't really matter where you hold it, but it's where the leg is in relation to your body. So try and keep it fairly close to your chest. And then just rock gently with your foot flexed. I always call it rocking the baby, to do it lovingly. Then just lift this leg up in front and try and get your chest close to your leg, looking up to your foot, and then just hop it down. We'll do the same on the upper leg. So we just lift it, flex this foot. You always might need to wiggle a bit, sit up straight, and just open it out gently, up and down. That's lovely. Great. Then lift this leg. I'm tighter on this side. Keeping this leg parallel, your spine straight, and just gently rock it. Great. Then holding your foot up in front of you, straight leg, straight spine, look to your foot, and just feel the backs of your hamstrings opening up a bit. And when you're ready, put your foot down. Right. Then we'll come over into Majariasana. Tabletop. Hang on. Oh no, I've left something out. Which is always the one I find difficult. Back onto this way onto the mat, and just sit up with a straight spine, with your back open, chest open, because it just helps you prepare. We're going to bring our legs up now into parallel. Try and keep our spine straight, but you'll have to lean back a little bit because you're balancing. And extend your arms out in front of you. Feel your core engaged, and your feet it'll probably start to wobble a bit. And hold for a count of 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then come down into Sukhasana and just lift a little here, just for a gentle release. We'll do that twice more. So lift the legs in front, try and straighten them a little bit more. Navasana, boat pose. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Release that. Release the hips, little wobble of the shoulders, anything else that needs wobbling. Back up. Feel your core engaged before you start, so you're not having to fight with it once you're there. Legs up once more, extend the hands, look to the feet. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. A half. And down. And then release. Again, now we'll come over into Asana, tabletop. We'll do the best thing to do every morning, which is the cat-cows. So make sure your hands are into the mat with your fingers well spread. The middle 3 fingers are facing the front, and that's where they should be for all these downward poses. Your elbow creases, keep them towards the front so that when you bend your elbows, they go straight. Your knees are under your hips, your feet are flexed flat, and your knees are hip width apart. So we'll do arch your body forward. I have quite a stiff back, so I don't arch an awful long way. So we're arching from the tail of our spine all the way up to our heads. And exhale, round the back. Bring the head down last. Breathe out, cat. Do this a few times and feel your spine right from the very base flowing up to your head, like you're a snake. So it's a movement that almost never stops and never starts. And if you want to close your eyes, that might help you come into it more. Now with your eyes closed still, when you go back into cat, just move just a little bit. And then you come forward, but keep your arms straight. Just a little bit, just it exaggerates the movement. And then you'll feel up into the top of your shoulders just a little bit more. And then come back to neutral in the center. Now extend your right leg out behind you and then lift it. Straight leg parallel to your hips, thighs are rolling in. Don't lift your leg out. Sometimes it's quite difficult to remember that, to keep the hip level and the thigh facing down, and the foot should be facing down. So you don't have to lift too high. If that's not accessible to you, you can keep your foot on the ground because it'll be the same movement. So I'll do it with my foot on the ground the first time, just in case anyone finds it difficult. Now extend the left hand out, parallel in front, hands are alive, look towards that hand. Now you're going to have to lift the back leg now, and then curl under as you exhale. Touch your knee to your elbow. Extend out. Exhale, touch knee to elbow. Breathe in, stretch forward. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale. Exhale. So the spine is going straight. The spine is curving. One more. And hold this for 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then, if you are able, reach around and grab that back foot into a twist and look up. If you're not able, don't worry. One day you will be. And bring that knee down. We're just going to Child Pose Tadasana for a couple of seconds, and then back up to tabletop. We'll repeat that on the other side. So, lift, flex leg, thigh facing down. Don't forget about the core so we don't go and sink into the middle. Extend the right arm. Look at the fingers. Inhale. Draw that elbow and knee in. No, exhale, sorry. As you come in, you exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Exhale, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reach around, hold that foot. Lifting that leg. You can reach around Shizu. Lovely. And see if you can lift that knee and come down. Lovely. Rest in child's pose for a moment. Then return to Madhyasana. And inhale, lift the right arm as high as you can. And then thread it through, but don't go all the way down. We'll do this 3 times. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. And now we'll finally thread the needle. Bring your shoulder down to the ground. And if you're me, my upper spine is cracking already. Extend your left arm out straight and look under your arm towards your hand. Now you can lift this hand, if you like, this arm, fold it round your back towards your right thigh, but that's purely a variation. And try and open out this left shoulder. Then bring the arm down, this left hand, wherever it's been, to next to your face, and push back up into tabletop. Now we'll do the other side. Lift the left arm, look up at the hand, opening out this shoulder here, and thread through. So we do 3 like half threads, if there's such a thing. 2, 3, and then all the way through on the ground, bring that shoulder down and the right arm out and open out that right armpit and look to that side. So that will be a comfortable twist, I find, once you're in it. Nice for the upper back and shoulders. Then breathe in, put your right hand close to your face and your left hand. So we're back into tabletop. Now walk your hands forward a little way towards about the front of the mat, and the fingers are facing forward, and just draw your hips back. You're not coming into a full position, your backside will still be off the floor, but puppy dog pose is a lovely pose to open up the shoulders and upper back before we go into our first downward dogs. And you can just move a little from side to side, just so you can feel the upper back. Breathe in, come up. Move the hands back a little bit to, let me see, I'll put my mat there. So we've got our feet behind us, we're in tabletop, tuck the toes under. And we'll take a deep breath, so if you're same position, and lift your knees a tiny amount off the floor, and that way you'll feel the weight come into your hands and arms a bit more. Engage your stomach muscles and breathe. And then gradually pressing down in your hands, stop and keeping your knees well bent, go back slower than you really want into your first downward dog. Feel the upper back flattening out first, and then slowly straighten your knees a little bit as you feel the length in your back, and walk the dog. Just do a few little steps from side to side. They call this a resting position, but I always find the first time it's quite challenging every day. Lift your heels and try to bring them towards the ground. It all depends on your body, whether you can, you can't. It doesn't matter too much. If you've got hypermobile elbows, then a tiny micro bend would help. But a micro bend in the knees is always accessible to everyone if it means that they're stretching out their legs and back more. And I can't read what I'm supposed to be doing next, so I'm going to come up into high plank. Now place the right hand under where your face is, and then twist open towards me. And you can either keep your feet one in front of the other. We're going into a side plank. Now, if this is very difficult for you, we have the business class variation, which is with the knee bent. If you're okay with it and your balance is okay, and just check your alignment of your shoulder over your hand, you can stack the feet, but that's always slightly wobblier. And keep this arm in a straight line. So as I said, you can drop the knee if it's too hard. If you want a little challenge, lift this leg, the top leg, and this arm can go over, and it's the point at which I fall over. So come down more gracefully than I did, and I'll do the other side. So I'm going to open out to this side. So back into high plank, which is a good time to talk about high plank, because your high plank want to have your shoulders and elbows over your wrists, your body alive from the top of your head down to your heels, core engaged, back engaged, in fact everything engaged, feet slightly apart. But don't do a halfway nowhere pose. And don't sink into your shoulders, so keep the shoulders separated. So it's like you're in charge of your shoulders. Now twist to the right, and I'm going to stack my legs this time. And look up to the upper hand, which is easier with stacked feet because you're not worrying about your balance quite so much. So there again, knee down if you need it or not. And then see if you can lift that leg and bring that arm over the head. But that's more tiring because you've got all your weight on one hand. So don't do that if you've got weak wrists. And then come back, plank, down to your knees, and back into child's pose. And I'm just going to get a mouthful of water. So if anyone wants water, do it now. Now, come to the front of your mat. I'm just going to do, we'll just do a forward fold because I haven't done one yet. Come to the front of your mat. Ideally feet together, but if you know that doesn't work for you, just a few inches apart. Stand in Tadasana or Samastiti, whichever you call it. And this is where we'll always come back to. So feel your feet in the ground. Feel all the corners of your feet. Lift your toes and spread them. And then place them back down. You could just rock up, rock back. Just find your center. Now, engaging the leg muscles, kneecaps up to the hips. Just imagine your body as you're working your way up. Hips should be neutral. Spine extended, that invisible thread still working. And our ears are aligned over our shoulders. Our heart is over our hips. Our chest isn't extended, but our heart center is open. Lift the shoulders and allow them to drop back down towards each other. Put your hands where they naturally come at your sides. Your fingers are alive. Now extend, breathe in and look up to the sky. If you can touch your hands, do the slight back bend Bring your arms down to the side as you go forward. Hands to the ground. As you come down to a forward fold, imagine that you are actually bending from way down here in your hips, not in your waist. So it doesn't matter where you come to. Now bend your knees until you can feel your chest on your legs. And then let your head hang. Just give it a little wiggle. A few yeses, a few nos. And breathe. Now, breathing in, come up to standing. Circle your arms above your head, looking up to the sky, and then bring them down to the side. Now, hands on your hips. I want you to step back in a long stride, so that will depend however long your legs are, how long that is. Both feet are facing the front knee is bent, but the knee does not extend over your toes. So if you need to step back a little more, then do. Feel that your hips are aligned facing the front. Your right thigh is facing inwards. Both thighs roll inwards, but the back thigh, feel it straight and feel the stretch on the right hip. Spine straight, drishti straight ahead. Now lift your arms above your head. So you're feeling the weight pushing into that back heel. Now on an in-breath, lean forward over that left knee and allow your arms to go forward and behind your back. On another inhale, swing them round, up to high lunge. Keep your shoulders down, arms straight. We'll do that a few more times. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, forward. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Bring your hands down to frame your foot. Step back into plank. Then I want you to bend your knees and bring that right foot forward. And then lift into high lunge on the other side. There you go. So we're in high lunge with the right leg forward, thighs rolling in, front knee bent, not over the toes. Breathe in, lean forward. Keep that back leg flexed, the knees lifting up. To help your balance. That's 2. We'll do 5. 3, exhale. 4, exhale. And then bring your hands down to frame the right foot. We're going to step back into plank, and then we'll go down onto our tummies. So you can either drop the knees, I think we'll do that anyway the first time. Flatten the feet out behind you, and then gently lower to the ground, keeping your elbows into the side. Now bring your feet together, toes extended, your hands up under your shoulders. And we'll inhale, just gently come up. And I find if I pull my hands towards me, it sounds counterintuitive, it helps my head and shoulders lift off better. Hold that for 5. Feet together. 4, 3, 2, 1. And that's our baby cobra. But this, I'll do the upward facing dog, which is with pushing up and pushes your hips off the floor. But some people find this too difficult to start with. So one, the baby cobra will always do if you can't do the full up dog. So don't allow your shoulders to sink. Keep it up, keep the strength going all the way down to your toes. Now lower your knees and come back down slowly onto your front. Put your hands under your head and just breathe for a minute. Now, put your hands at your side. So we've got our head central looking down. Our feet are together and pointed. Our shoulders are rotating back down our back. We're going to do Shalabhasana locust pose. We're going to feel the strength. The motion comes from the top of our head to our feet. It's not a back bend in the middle. So we're pulling out, lifting up. And it's, you don't have to go very far to feel it. Keep your legs straight, your neck in line with your shoulders, and breathe. And slowly come down, bring your hands under your shoulders, back into Tadasana, child's pose. Come to the centre of the mat, kneeling. Feet are flat on the ground behind you. And put your hands on your hips so that you feel some support there. Now with Camel Pose, can't remember the name, Uttanasana I think it is. We want to start the movement from our upper back. Keep the pelvis forward, so don't like Z back. So we'll breathe in, extend this hand and arm up to the sky, straight, and looking up. See, you can probably find your back heel. You can look, or it's a test to see if you know where it is, and just touch down to your left heel if you can. If you can't, then keep that hand on your hip, on your back for support. Otherwise you're sort of hanging in the air. Count for 5, keep the hips going forward, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we'll come up, raise this arm. Then either with your hand on your hips, the support here, or looking back, find that right heel. Don't allow your knees to drift apart because that will put pressure on your lower back. So although you might be able to do it, you might finish up with back pain. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that down up. Then back into child pose. Right, come to the front of your mat. My eyesight's not so good, so I shall have to put my little chart there. Standing in Samistiti at the front of your mat. Again, feeling your feet, feeling that upright pose. Core muscles engage, arm at the side. We're going to breathe in, arms overhead. Now bend the knees and more, as if you're sitting on an imaginary chair. Try to keep your hands and arms in line with your head. So do what I say, not always what I do. Imagine you're on that chair. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then come up standing and then bring your arms down to your side. Breathe in, arms up. No, actually, yes. Step back, bend the knees, step back, another long stride to the back of the mat, but we'll plant our foot about 45-degree angle for Virajasana 1. I was going to say do it with your hands and your hips for this very reason, that you want to make sure that your hips are facing the front, and you need to sort of checklist all the alignment first, that your whole body's facing front, your spine is upright, this hip is coming forward, which is the task, the back leg is straight. Then open out your back arm, well, your right arm, and then the feet hardly need to move at all, but now your hips are aligned to the side. Your whole body is aligned to the side, but your drishti is to the front over that left hand. Don't allow the left knee to drift in. Make sure the right leg is straight, that the arch of the right leg isn't rolling in. Now, straighten your legs and your arms, and then come down again into Warrior Two. Straighten the front leg, raise your arms, come back down to Warrior Two. So, we're in Warrior Two. Let the right hand drift down to touch the back thigh and lift the front arm and look up to the sky. Reverse warrior. Then back to Warrior Two. And straighten that front leg. So we now have both legs straight. You might need to just step in a fraction. And now we do Trikonasana. So it will come from here. So if you imagine your whole body being pulled, your left hand being pulled out, and you're keeping in the same plane all the time, and let the right arm drift up. So the two arms work together, and this leg hand will come down to wherever it comes, as long as you don't compromise the flatness of the pose. So imagine you're against a wall, or you're between two panes of glass. And then when you finally feel secure in this, your hips are open, your spine is straight from the top of your head to your hips, and your legs are straight, the kneecaps pulling up, then you can turn and look at your upper hand. Or if your balance is bad and it's a bad day, you can look down to your foot. Then I want you to look to your left foot, front foot, bend that knee, and we'll do Utthana Bakonasana. Put the elbow on the left knee, or you can put your hand to the ground on the inside to keep your knee back, or the outside. I shall demonstrate it here. And then looking up, bring the arm over the top. Feel the body in a straight line from your right fingers to your right toes. And breathe. Try to keep this arm straight and don't collapse into the elbow, hip, into the shoulder. Then breathe in, up to Warrior Two. Rotate into Warrior One, but high lunge rather. Then step in a little bit with your back foot. And then you're going to take off into Warrior Three, because we'll straighten that front leg, lift the back leg, not too high, feel the thighs turning in, the foot is flexed pointing down, and the arms are out in front of you. Now, if you find balance difficult, you might find it easier with your arms out to the side or on aeroplane mode. I have the tendency to turn this hip out, so keep thinking about this hips facing down. It'll stop your leg going up too high, but it's correct. Then come up to the top of your mat and have a few breaths, and then we'll repeat that on the other side. Hands down to the side. hands on hips. Step back with the left leg into a long lunge, then into Virabhadrasana 1. Hips facing forward, back leg straight, spine straight, and then raise the arms above your head. It's a pose that you can't stop correcting enough, I find. Then open out your left arm and you're into Warrior 2 immediately. Don't lean forward like that, which you often see when people go, oh, I know yoga, it's that. So keep your spine over your hips, arms out to the side. Now straighten the back leg. It's just because I want you to doing this to relax your shoulders so you don't hunch them up. Then lift the front arm, back arm down to touch near the knee. First warrior. Look up to the sky. Feel the stretch down your left thigh. And your whole body spiraling upwards. Lovely. Then we're going to rotate back into a high lunge. Arms above the head. That's Amina. We're in high lunge. That's it. Then we're going to step in with the left foot a little bit. And as you straighten your right leg, you're going to feel yourself being gently pulled forward. And every time you wobble, it means you're learning and you're strengthening your ankles. And I'm going to bring my hands out to the side. Remember to keep your hips parallel to the floor, your foot facing down, your head in line with your spine. And come up to center, hands above the head, and bring them down to the side. Then, I'm just going to turn my mat this way. We'll do a few forward folds. So stand in the middle of the mat, hands on waist, bend your knees, jump to the side. Take a deep breath. With a straight spine, bend from the hips forward to parallel. Bring your hands down to the ground and with a deep breath, and then allow your body to go a little bit further. Keep your hands in line with your feet. Another breath. Head down. Don't roll back into your heels or your hips. We'll come over to the right side and we'll just gently pull ourselves down over that straight right leg. Or if you can't go that far, wherever you can go. It's a mixture of a twist and a nice stretch for the hamstrings. And then walk over to the other side. It shouldn't be painful at this point because your legs have been working. And come back to the center and then walk your hands forward and we'll just stretch out the upper back. So this is nice into the shoulders. Then we walk back, hands on the hips, just micro bend the knees a little bit and come up to center. Now rotate your heels in or your toes out a little bit and raise your arms above your head. And then bend your knees and cactus the arms. See how low you can come down. Breathe in, breathe out. Keep the knees out and this will help strengthen and open your hips at the same time. Then come down, put this elbow on this leg, and then Looking up to your hand, twist to the side. It's the same twist we did in our side stretches, just the base is different. Breathe in, bring this elbow down, bring this arm up, stretch to the other side, looking up to the hand, and then bring it down. Breathe in, hands to the hips, feet facing forward, bend the knees, jump. Just need a few seconds. We're going to do a balance. And for balances, you always need to calm the mind. And I found that the week before lockdown, nobody in our yoga class could do balances because our minds were like everywhere. So, taking the weight feel the weight into your left foot, bend that knee a little bit. Lift the right leg off the floor, and you can either put the foot, it could be down here, it could be up here, as long as you avoid the knee. I always find it easiest, I'm going to go in the fatter part of my leg. So I like to tuck mine in quite high, so I've got something to press against. So you can feel that foot pressing against your thigh. Feel your spine straight, left kneecap pulled up. Extend the arms out to the side until you find you're comfortable. Right knee's turning out. Ears are in line with shoulders. Then find a drishti, which is a point of focus. Because if you don't have a point of focus, it's really hard to find a balance, whatever you're doing. Without the shoulders going up, lift the straight arms above your head. If you can, bring your fingers together, otherwise straight arms above your head. And then we'll breathe here for a few seconds. And just run through all those little notes to yourself, that your abdomen's engaged, the spine is straight, your shoulders are down, and wobbling is fine. And the advanced position is smiling. Then bring the arms out to the side, lift the knee and plant that foot back down. Then give your ankles a little wobble while we get ready for the second side. So foot grounded into the ground. We're going to lift this knee. I always find it easier to lift it centrally and then turn out the knee. Place the left foot into the right thigh or wherever it's going to go. And just put your arms out to the side while you find that drishti and that sense of calm. Don't panic, it's only a balance. The worst that can happen is that you fall over. What does that matter? You won't tomorrow. Breathe in. Lift your arms up above your head. 5 breaths. Bring the arms out, bring them down. Now, one more balance. Lord of the Dance pose. With your right hand, hold on to your right foot. And with an in-breath, you can have a mudra between your first forefinger and your thumb. Find that drishti first, and then gently lean forward as you lift the back knee. Try not to turn out the back knee too much, and there'll be a natural tilt. You'll find that place that's right for you. And then come down. I tend not to talk too much when I'm doing that because I'm concentrating. Feel all right. Right foot into the ground. Pick up the left foot with your left hand, keeping the knees together. Raise the right arm, the mudra between your forefinger and your thumb. Find your drishti, and then gently tilt forward. And come up to central. Gently plant that foot down, like you could have stayed there for another 10 minutes. And then we'll come down to our mats. Yay, you're all going. It's nearly the end. Now, let me find where I am. We're going to do sit on your mat in Tadasana. Spine straight, kneecaps lifted, feet flexed towards you. Raise your arms above your head and then tilt forward a little bit. Now, if you find it easier and you can't get down without bending your back, which I often do, and that's cheating, then you can use the strap. Much better to use the strap and keep a straight back, because that will give you the stretch on your lower spine. If you just go like that, well, we can all do that, but it's actually not the point of it. Paschimottanasana. Now, bring your right, bend your right knee, bring your right foot into your groin. Make sure your body's still aligned to the front. And we'll repeat the same movement, but we've only got one leg, which we're centered over. Now, actually, I just find this very hard again. So we're centering our torso over our left knee. We're just pulling forward, and we should feel a hamstring stretch, but it also stretches out our lower back. And then we'll do that on the other side. Right foot forward, left foot into the top of the thigh. I just have to imagine like pulling my stomach in, my imaginary huge stomach, so that I'm centered over that leg. Breathe in and feel that stretch down the hamstrings. Lovely. Now come into the mid, sitting in the middle of the mat with your legs open, and have a wiggle here so that you feel where your sitting bones are, that you're just in that Goldilocks place. You're not too far back. I don't think you can come too far forward. Your legs are straight, your feet are flexed. Our spine is still elongated, so we're still like puppets. Lift up, and then just allow your hands to land wherever they land. Just feel that. We're all going to be different. Some people are super bendy, other people aren't. So try to press into the ground with your knees. Your feet are flexed, your legs are still working. And anything you do here is actually good. So if you've got a block, which I happen to have one here, you can come forward until your head is on a block, and you just rest. And you can do this while watching television, I guess, if it's a boring program in the evening. Now come up, bend your knees. grab hold of your toes. I was trying to think of what the name of these things were, toes. And come onto a little balance here. With our knees turned out and our spine straight. And then we'll gradually, feeling that balance, straighten our legs. With our spine straight and looking up. And then, I always love doing this. I just think it's a fun pose after you've done all the serious stuff. So feel your heart going forward, and then, oh, it's the same as happy baby, really, isn't it? Because happy baby's that. So maybe it's a happy inducing pose. Now, sideways onto your mat, and we'll come down. We're nearly there. So we're lying on the mat, and we're straightening out, and we'll lift this leg up, and we'll press it into our bodies. So just feel that stretch down the left leg. We'll take hold of that toe, or I'm taking hold, or your leg, wherever it comes. Sort of folding in that, feel that joint there as it comes up. And then lift your head a little. Just see if that leg will come any further. And then allow it to go down. Then holding onto your big toe or anywhere on your shin. Pull your left arm out to the side. And then open out that right hip and that right straight leg to wherever it's going to go. Keeping the left leg alive and the foot flexed. Keep both shoulders on the ground. You should feel a stretch up your hamstrings, but as I said, a nice stretch at this point because your legs are alive and it's not a cold stretch. Now bring that leg back to the center and then bend your right knee and place your right foot on your left thigh and your left hand on your right knee, and then twist over towards the left and turn your head to the right. So you're looking out towards your right hand, your body is twisting to the left, and your shoulders are staying on the ground. And breathe. Bring that foot down and straighten both legs. Bring the left foot in and hold that knee against your chest. And slowly straighten that leg up. So flexed foot pointing to the sky. So feel this all down your legs, I hope. And then holding your big toe, your arm out, the right arm out to the side to counterbalance you. Slowly extend the left leg out to the side, but try to keep your hips facing upwards. So it's the same pose that you sometimes do standing as a balance. Keep that right foot flexed. And if you can drop that elbow if you're getting too tired, but your core muscle should hold that leg up. Bring it back to center. Bring both legs up. Oh, I've forgotten something. Yep. Left foot on right thigh. Right hand on left knee. And we'll twist to the right and look to the left. Keeping both shoulders on the ground. It's just a nice stretch. It's a relaxing stretch. Close your eyes. Then roll back to the center and then lift your both legs above your head and lift both arms above your head and shake them. Go, or you can shake slowly if you're that way inclined. And then wibble wobble from hip to hip so that you're like some octopus that's been caught in a trap. And breathe in and then breathe out onto the ground, splat. Your feet are apart, your arms are by your side, and close your eyes. And breathe. And thank yourself for all the work you've done, and thank you for being my pupils for the last hour. We'll stay here for a few breaths until I tell you I'm in charge. So you should feel those breaths coming into your body, right from the diaphragm up to your chest and leaving. Breathe in and breathe out. Now take a deep breath. Stretch your feet, flex, and stretch your arms linked with your fingers interlinked, and then have a full body stretch. And then gently and slowly roll over to your right hand side, using your right arm as a pillow. Then keeping your eyes closed, slowly push yourself up and come back to Sukhasana, or a comfortable seated position. Feel your spine straight towards the sky. Bring your hands together, Anjali Mudra, prayer pose. And we'll chant 1 Om and 3 Shantis. Deep breath in. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Drop your head towards your hands. Gently open your eyes, looking at the ground and then looking up. Namaste, and thank you for being my pupils.